Hi everyone, today I'm gonna make a Taurox 5-turn guide on Legendary difficulty, Mortal Empire campaign. The goal of this guide is to help you set up for an endless rampage as early as humanly possible. I think it's pretty realistic to achieve endless rampage before turn 10 reliably, and honestly I think a Taurox campaign should not take more than 10 turns. In practices, I've been achieving endless rampage on turn 7 and 8, with turn 8 being more reliable and sustainable, getting pretty close to an endless rampage on turn 6 with my last practice, but I fucked up in the end and the save is ruined. So first, to those that are not familiar with the idea of endless rampage, I think it's a bug or glitch that once you accumulate more than 150 rampage per battle, which is the maximum rampage for the gauge, you will enter the endless rampage, where you stay in rampage forever on that turn and you can replenish your movement as long as you have momentum. So theoretically, combining with the health regen from Champion's Essence for heroes and powerful regen from Taurox, it's possible to finish the entire map within a single turn. Now, it's very important to be aware of how much rampage you will be getting from every single battle. I believe the increment between every consecutive battle within the same turn is around 8, although I don't know if there's any RNG to it. Also, keep in mind that once you achieve the 4 battles within a single turn trait, which increase your rampage gain by 20%, you will get more rampage. I haven't calculated the exact value of rampage gain from every battle, but it's safe to say you would need approximately 15 to 17 battles in a single turn to achieve the endless rampage. Alright, with that in mind, let's dive into the campaign. Now, be aware that there is some AI RNG involved in this guide on turn 4, and it is crucial for the guide. 90% of the time I've been getting the good RNG, but there's one time I got a bad one, and it ruins the whole strategy. So, fingers crossed. Okay, so first turn. What we want to do is amp the hero into the army and take the settlements to the north. Not like there are too many options here. Since we are trying to achieve endless rampage as soon as possible, we need to make sure that we are getting battles every turn and build up our army as soon as possible. We can auto-resolve the first battle. Casualty doesn't matter much in the first few turns since we got 3 units, and we want to raise a Hearthstone here so we got more recruitment capacity. Make sure we don't spend any money on the first turn, cause we need all of it on the second turn. Also, do not build anything in this Hearthstone, as we are going to abandon it on the second turn as well. Skill-wise, we want to go down the blue line for Taurox and get Lightning Strikes, which will give us more battles, and more battles good. And for the Brave Shaman, we want to go for the Trader King. Alright, let's go ahead and end the turn here. Now for the second turn, we want to turn east and take this Dark Elf settlement. The problem with going north is that we wouldn't be able to reach it in one turn, and also the settlement layout in the north is not that good for what we are trying to do. This siege battle here is not that difficult. You do need to cheese it by wasting enemy ammunition, snipe the 2 Blackheart Corsairs, spend all your ammunition efficiently, then charge into the gate with all the melee units, and that's pretty much it. Again, the casualty on melee units and Taurox are not that big of an issue, as we are going to be able to recruit and replenish in next 2 turns. We're going to loot and raise the settlement, and we would be able to buy a Champion's Essence with the looting money. We also want to perform the ritual, which would refund a Hearthstone shard, and then we want to demolish the first Hearthstone. You will see why we do that in turn 5. Alright, march towards Venomglade, make camp and recruit more units, and we will hit the end turn here. Turn 3 is easy, we just need to take Venomglade and make another Hearthstone here for more recruitment capacity. We can auto-resolve this battle to save some time and effort, since we do need to rely on RNG in turn 4, so all this work here so far could potentially go to waste. Take your hero out of the army and march him towards Hotek's column. There's Clan Rictus there, and we want him to discover the settlement before we head out on turn 4. We also want to build a shamanic building in the Hearthstone to get a vision around the Circle of Destruction, and extra Winds of Magic is pretty good. Also, don't forget to recruit some more troops. So that's turn 3 here. Fingers crossed for a good RNG. Alright, seems like we're getting a good RNG. What we want here is Tretch being outside the settlement on this particular position, which enable us to take both the settlement and beating his army, netting us 2 battles at around 24 to 27 rampage in this turn. Combining with what we have, which is 24 so far from 3 battles, we will be ready for a harsh rampage in the next turn. Another RNG is this full stack of Dark Elf army here near the Circle of Destruction. What we want to do is declaring war on them, so they would force march down south towards Venomglade in the next turn. In order to fight 2 battles in this turn, we need to use Taurox and marching him in raid stance to this particular position, so that after we take in the Hotek's column and choose advance and raise, we can attack Trash Criminal's army. The siege of Hotek's column should be a free battle. We just need to position ourselves in this corner here, and we can shoot the rats for free. And since Taurox has a champion's essence, he can go in there and finish them if we used up all our ammunition for some reason. We should have enough though. We can auto-resolve the battle with Tretch. Damage doesn't really matter since we will be making a camp here, and we can replace the damaged unit with fresh ones for free.
Consider making camp.
Also, grab a Ungor Raider follower for more campaign movement. Now, here's where the fun begins. Now, here's why we demolished the first Hearthstone on turn 2. It's for this particular event which will spawn a hero in your capital. Since we only have 1 Hearthstone at this moment, the hero will spawn at Venomglade, and we will be able to aim the free hero into the army in this turn. I usually go for Brave Shaman because more Winds of Magic when he reached rank 8. We would take 4 battles in this turn, so it's better to fight these battles manually and take as little damage as possible. One mechanic you do need to be aware of with replenish movement is that once you replenished your movement, you cannot change stance, otherwise you lose all the movement. So make the habit to switch to the stance you want before replenishing movement. As for field battles, use Taurox to stagger the enemy army. He's pretty vulnerable to damage before we level him up, so we should avoid charging into melee too early. Use Trader King to soften enemies up. Lure the enemy melee units into our archer range and take them out for free. Also, grab some free regen for Gorgon. Don't forget to amp your hero in the army before taking on this full stack. Since we're taking 4 battles reliably on this turn, we'll be able to get increased rampage trade. Now, I usually go north since the settlement layout is good for chaining battles, and there's a good chance that there are a lot of activities going on. We wouldn't be able to go past Nagaron or Temple of Cain without taking the settlement first. So we will make a camp around here and end turn to reset a rampage gain. Otherwise, we will have to build up the rampage from the start again, and it sucks. Make sure we save enough money to grab tier 2, which will allow us to build shaman buildings and recruit tier 2 units in the next 2 turns. Also, don't forget to purchase a champion's essence for the Brave Shaman. Hit the end turn, and that's our official 5-turn guide. These are the things I can do reliably and consistently 100% every single campaign if the RNG on turn 4 is good. From now on, due to the AI RNG, we have to play to the situation. It will rely on our ability to play around rampage and movement in order to achieve endless rampage. I mentioned that the settlements in the north are great, not only because they are horribly designed to be cheesed, but if we take a look at the position of Nagaron and the Great Arena, also the Ground and Spite Reach, it's not hard to notice that these settlements can be chained if you angle it correctly and choose raids in advance. This is particularly important for us to keep our rampage going, because with a standing army nearby, we can net 3 to 4 battles out of the situation. It's a good and reliable way to reset a rampage and immediately get it back again. And the first time resetting a rampage will be the hardest. For turn 6, after taking the Temple of Cain, we would need 3 battles if we want to regain Harsh Rampage. Replenish movement before attacking a standing army, as we will be able to keep our movement after beating one. While for settlements, the amount of movement you can take after the battle will be fixed. That's why the settlements that naturally can be chained are so important. Now, if the RNG is really bad and there's no 3 battles you can chain, what you can do is save your rampage, put down a Hearthstone and declare war on a bunch of people with full stacks sitting inside the settlement. That will give you a good chance for the enemy to come out and stage an opportunity. About what we generally want to do with our Dread, Muddy and settlements in turn 7 and 8 is that we want to switch to tier 2 melee units, grab the upgrade for hero recruiting and increase the capacity for Brave Shaman. Combining the Rampage buff for Shaman, we'll be able to recruit them at rank 11 on turn 7, which will give us a massive wins of magic pool. Purchase a bunch of Champion's Essence for them and amp them into the army on turn 8. After we reach the stage where we basically took out all the viable targets in the north, and we are getting more than 50 Rampage per battle, which means we only need to chain 2 battles to keep the Rampage going, what we want to do is heading south. With 10 momentum, you will reach Nagaroth, and if it's on turn 7 or 8, there will be a Beastman army standing in this area, which help us reset a rampage and get some momentum. Then, what we want to do is go into Ulthuan. What's great about Ulthuan, besides a lot of possible standing armies, is that there are settlements that are so close to those gates that they can be chained together to help us reset. Also at this point, we should be getting close to 10 battles within this turn, so we just need one more push towards the Endless Rampage. Also, the Sword of Cain. Yeah, not that they have time to build it though. Alright, that's pretty much what I have to say in this video. Peace.